Hi, I'm Akhilesh. I'm with Pragya. We are from Kapi team, and yeah, we'll present the feature we built on evaluation. But like before we start, we have people working in social sector. They are tech people. So just wanted to know, like, if you can raise a hand, how many of you are using or experimenting with AI? Cool. How many out of you have actually deployed AI solution that is running and is customer facing? Cool. So evaluation is basically to ensure like whatever you have deployed, is it working consistently or not? Because over time, AI changes, everything changes. If you are using OpenAI, every other day a newer model come that perform better, and in the backend side they deprecate, or the older models start performing less. So you eventually switch to new models, and newer models perform better is what they say, but you actually need something to measure that they actually perform better. If not, they at least perform consistently. So that's how, on a high level, what a evaluation is. I have prepared a deck which I'll present. Cool. So AI evaluation. So basically it says like what seems good to what scores good. So you have seen like with AI, answers may look okay. If you are doing some sort of a evaluation, if you have a team of 3 or 4, the person who is evaluating right now, he say, okay, the answer seems good, but you can't really like put a metric or put a number to it. Like words can't define it, but numbers can. So that's what it is. Cool. So using evaluation will basically ensure the reliability and effectiveness of your AI solution. And we are working in social sector, so that's what it is. That whatever solutions you have deployed in your organization, does it perform really well? Does it perform consistently well? And do you actually trust that? So how do you do that? Now the problem is the evaluation is a bit hard, right? Why it is? Because LLMs are non-deterministic. So if you ask the same question to LLM, maybe like, how's the weather today? It will say bit cloudy, bit sunny. It will say warm and results are on the way, or all those things. Similar answers, all correct, but it's not like 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, right? So in that way, LLMs are non-deterministic. And similarly, the traditional testing will also fail. It's not like 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6. It will just say all similar words, meaning similarly, but the words are different. So in that way, using evaluation, it's a bit hard. Similarly, single test runs are unreliable. So with LLM, because it's not like pulling the answers from a knowledge from a database, whereas it is just facts. It's basically whatever question you have asked, it will pull the relevant chunks and generate an answer. So every time, even if you ask the same question or similar question, the answer will be similar, but not the exact same words, right? And with each time, some of the time, AI also hallucinate. So if you are asking same question 10 times, 1 out of 10 times or 2 out of 10 times, it will just hallucinate. And based on the prompt you have said, it may also say that, hey, I don't know the answer. While the other time you have actually asked the question, it will give you the actual answer. So solution to that is basically semantic similarity, where you are not focusing on the exact words, but you are focusing on the meaning of the words. So the weather is sunny, the sun is out, it's like temperature above 22 degrees Celsius, all means like you don't need to wear sweater. Unless it's me also, but yeah. Cool. So how do we do that? So in that comes the golden data set, which, so if you are from a developer background, you write test cases that if this is called, then this should be the output. Similarly, the golden data set works in a similar manner that you define like what the golden questions are, or basically how your AI should perform, and answers are basically like the answers. So question is, these are the questions that will eventually come to AI, or sort of a similar questions that will come, and answers are how the AI should perform. And why building this is important is you should not like build a golden set like these are the 100 questions, these are the answers, use just ChatGPT and fill up this set. You should basically cover the wide spectrum, like what are the valid questions, what are like similar questions which your bot should not perform or which should not answer. So if you are like running an health bot, so it should address the queries related to health, but it should not answer the sex determination questions. So in that sense, everything is related to medical, but there are like certain boundaries. Even those questions you should put in the golden data set. So that's how you build a golden data set. So what we do in evaluation is we do it in two phases. First is we generate the answer. So what we do is once you have the golden set of questions, so suppose you have like 30 questions, we also put the duplication factor because LLMs are non-deterministic, that same questions if asked 5 times, it may not answer 5 times the same way. So that way we first, if you have uploaded 30 questions, we put a duplication factor of 5, then the questions become 150. So 150 questions, if you do that like sequentially, running a loop, it may take time, it may cost resources also, and then you have to stitch together all those responses. So rather than that, we just use batch API and we generate the response. Once you have the response generated, then what we do is we make another batch API call, which converts the questions, answers, and ground truth. So you have the answers generated, which are generated with this particular config. So suppose you change the prompt, you change the temperature, or you just change the model. So a new set of answers are generated. But in your golden data set, you have defined that this is how the answers should be. So the generated answers, the ground truth, those are there, which you got from the phase 1. And then those answers are converted into embeddings, and then cosine similarity is calculated. Then these are the two things. Then how we score that. So once the answers are generated, you first convert it into embeddings. You calculate the cosine similarity. You put a score for each answer. One is that, another is using LLM as judge. So these are the two metrics. Like there are n number of metrics that you can define. In terms of LLM as judge, you can define the correctness. You can define like overall tone. You can define hallucination. Those all you can define. In this feature, we just started with 2 metrics so that it's easier for NGOs also to understand. If you put like 10 metrics, some values go up, some values go down, then even NGOs will be confused that, hey, did my new set of config or new set of prompt or model, does it perform well or no? But if you keep it to 2 metric only, then it's easier to go ahead. So that's on a high level what it goes. Now my colleague will just demo a video of like how the feature looks in working. But before that, if you have any questions. Okay.
I have a
yeah.
question. So if you do this much, how confident are you that you will be, that your system is working well?
How confident you will. So what this will do is it will generate the scores, and based on scores, you can also see like what the answers are generated. So right now, if you have a system that is running, like you have set up an assistant, it is generating the response and it is giving the score. So based on the score, you can see like how your bot is performing right now. And if you make any changes, it will again generate the score. So you will have, you don't have to go with feeling like it seems good. You will actually have a score that with the new config, the score goes up, and then you can deploy it. So that way you can build the confidence. If that answers.
I asked the question the wrong way.
Okay.
So you got like say 2 metrics to look at, is what you mentioned, for example, right? How do I know that those 2 are enough? I know you're saying there are a lot more.
Yeah, you can configure more.
This represents, for example, 80% of the problems that you may face, 20% of the problems that you may face. So from that frame, where is this kind of set? Is the question clear?
Sort of yes and no, but yeah.
It should kind of cover most cases, I guess, because all they're doing is a very generic blend. They have to just check is whether the answer is concise and whether it is relevant. So it's a very simple prompt. In the future, it will be possible to also have build your own evaluator prompt or whatever. But for now, just to make it very simple, all we are taking is the golden question answer as a prompt is very simple, whether the answer is concise and relevant.
that answers you. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So for the golden data set, especially the questions, so what strategies do you recommend to generate a broad set of questions? You also said, okay, we can use an LLM without giving some context, say, we mean in this context, a broad set of questions which I can use within the golden data set? What do you think?
Yeah, basically golden data set, how you build that is it should cover the questions that usually come into your bot. So maybe you can set up your bot and you run it for a month, and so you keep a track of all the questions that have come to your bot in one place, and then maybe pick like broad 100 questions or top 100 questions that usually come into your system, and then you like write answers for them. And for basically you should understand like what type of questions you should come, and that should cover in your golden data set.
Assuming we don't have the data, we're starting off, still we want to look at we can run this methodology, for example, selecting some information for all the questions. Yeah, I mean, we also now move towards creating a synthetic user, so asking the synthetic users to give responses. That's also market research, user research paradigm is coming up. So can you create a synthetic users who can generate some of the data? So this is just a side.
Yeah, maybe we can connect her like after the session. Good. वीडियो दिखाऊंगा उसके बाद मैं वो कर लूँगा, but you can go through it.
Yeah, hello, I think I'm audible. So we kind of started building a small UI on top of the eval workflow. So what started as a small experimental project that how we can orchestrate the entire eval flow. Entire eval flow. So now I think we have built some sort of an alpha or some sort of a console kind of product that kind of morphed to something better. So I think you can first go through a small video demo, then I can show you the demo itself on the product as well.
So basically this is the golden data set which was collected by running a bot for some time and understanding like what kind of queries come to your bot, and then like the answer part, initially it can be populated with the answer that is generated by your assistant or your AI setup that you have done, and eventually you need someone to correct the answers because not all the answer will be 100% correct. So then eventually that will become the golden data set. So this is the sheet that you need to create. Then how the feature will work is you basically download that sheet, and then you go to copy and you upload that golden data set. Yeah, you can speak.
Okay, should I continue? So this is the kind of the theme UI platform that we initially envisioned that kind of turned out to be a better product, I think, a console kind of thing. So here you can see I can upload a data set containing those golden Q&A questions. Thank you. Q&A questions. To just check the flakiness of the input that Akhilesh was explaining that 4 times you input the question, it gives the correct answer. 5th time it goes haywire. So to figure out the flakiness, we have kind of have a duplication factor that kind of duplicates or multiplies those single line item of the CSV into multiple question answer pair. So here you can upload the data set. We have already the copy key store. The copy API key is already stored in the key store. So first the user needs to go and store that API to access the endpoint. Then I can just select any experiment name for the evaluation configuration part. Select the model. Currently I think we are only supporting GPT-4. Select instruction vector ID if possible, and start the evaluation on that particular golden keyword data sets that's generated, either can be generated synthetically or handcrafted by subject matter. So yeah, so I think the result might take a while. So we'll show the preset pre-runs that we have already. Yeah, here you can see the instruction of the detailed configuration, the instruction, the model ID, tools if any used and connector search if possible. This is a drill down view that you can see the cosine similarity as well as the LLM as a judge score here with Antara correctness. So just to expand upon why we have taken only these two score types, first is the cosine similarity, other the Antara correctness. So cosine similarity kind of, it makes sense whether the configuration of the result as given by the LLM, does it make sense or not? Is it correct from a semantic perspective of view? Here you can see, does it make sense from a Hindi point of view? While the correctness score is a judge LLM score that judges the cognitive, the factual correctness of the result as shown by skewed by the LLM. So that's why we think these two metrics are enough for the time. Also, you can see the reasoning. The reasoning, you can also see why the LLM as a judge thinks that this is good that it is. We can see, go to the line number 5. I think there is a discrepancy between the cosine similarity and the judge LLM score. While you can see in the reasoning, what is it? Generation of something. Yeah. While from a semantic perspective, it's giving a very high score, so 0.887. But from a factual POV, I think that it has made some mistake that you can see generation correctly takes the scheme score as per this, but it makes a mistake. Something obfuscated, lied, hallucinated, whatever you can call it. So for now, in the alpha version, we have decided that these two metrics or which scoring mechanisms might be enough. But of course, definitely happy to incorporate and co-create other scoring mechanisms if that makes sense in our generally available product that we are going to build. I will stop here. Any questions, suggestions, criticism? Yeah.
I have a question on the golden data set. These are questions that a bot would receive when you're saying what the answer is true. What if the tool is not a bot? And in our case, it's analyzing trends and giving a summary of discussion points. What would a golden data set for that be?
Basically the input. And input, expected output.
So that's like a structure that we've created and making sure that that's done.
Yeah. So in your case, like input is maybe text file or some data which you are gathering from 2-3 sources. Output is the summary. So this is the question is basically input. The expected or ground truth is the output. And now with each config, there is a new set of output that is generated. So question answer here is basically input, expected output, and the generated output is with the latest config.
And just add.
Sorry, just want to clarify, but the output here that you're talking about would be output that a human being has validated or analyzed, right?
Yeah.
Data.
In golden data set, the question answer or input and expected output or ground truth is the human annotated one. And then with each config change like model, temperature, or prompt, that will be the output generated with the latest config. And then it matches the ground truth and the generated output and gives the score.
I think also to add on to Achilles' point, I think we can also generate synthetic data as well. If you do not have, in the beginning, I think if I want to build some product, I do not have any golden key SME. So I can just generate something from Anthropic and run it through ChatGPT, see if it's working or not, and figure out how to do that. Since LLM as a judge, this is an interesting problem that LLM as a judge is a kind of tricky problem to solve. So we have kept the option to export the entire thing in the CSV file for a further human annotation or judge developing. So what we think that this is not something that can replace the human judgment per se, but it's a really good augmentation to the human judgment capability. Like, and we know that elite human judgment is pretty rare and scarce itself. We want to improve that rather than replacing altogether the entire human in the loop of it. So we can export the CSV, view config, and just run it. So we're trying to add other features that I think might be relevant to the community that you can definitely hit us up if you want to show extra features or that might say, we might get really blindsided or some tunnel vision as a developer mostly, so it makes sense to take inputs from all of you and we might be try to implement that in the GA product. So thank you.
Sure. Yeah, and now the last bit. So like Pragya said that once you have run and it has scored also, you can just download it as a CSV and then your internal team can further annotate it, color code it. But how to like use results to improve your bot next. So with this, you can do the regression testing as well. like before or after making changes. So you get like the score is earlier 70%, now it goes to 75. So now you have to also check that which each config change, does it go up or down? If it goes up, then only launch it. You can do A/B testing with each config. You can basically test it and only like go to production if the score goes up. Finding weak spots. So in that you have seen that some of the questions or some of the answers were rated really low. But what it signifies is A, either the question is not relevant, B, it has hallucinated, and C is basically whatever question was asked is not present in the knowledge base. So even if the question is around like maternity health or whatever your sector is, but and it is relevant to your organization also or your program also, but the answer does not lie in the knowledge base. So in that case, the answer is rated low. You have to update the knowledge base also, or it might be not set in the prompt. So that is finding the weak spot. And then the continuous monitoring. Like I said, like if we are using OpenAI, every other day a newer model is launched. So now GPT-5 is launched, GPT-4o will tend to perform less and less, or it will degrade. So if you are using GPT-4o in production, you should run this evaluation every week so that you know it's performing consistently. So there will be a cases where you have changed nothing, still your performance will degrade, because that's how like they promote newer models, I would say. But yeah, anyways. So with these things you can do. Now, at the end, like traditional testing is like writing test case or expecting 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. But here in AI, you have to basically do semantic testing and semantic similarity to understand like if the outcome is measurable. And evaluation is necessary. It's just the question is, can I afford not to measure the AI's quality? So if you are just too confident, or every other change in prompt or model, you just want to go to production, go ahead. But the question is, can you afford it? Like if you are working in the health sector and you make changes to the model or temperature, now it is saying just take paracetamol tablet every other hour. It should not actually say that. So before you make any changes to production, just do the evaluation so that you should be sure about what's going into production or what the end users are interacting with. Yeah, that's it. Any other question?
I wanted to capture the configuration part.
Uh-huh.
Can we make this iterative and make it run periodically, like you said, every month or so? Can you show us how you configure the prompt, the model, and so on, and the knowledge base? Someone is there.
Yeah, so here, like you pass the model, you pass the instruction, and you pass the vector store ID. Vector store ID is basically in OpenAI, you upload the files. So any new file you have uploaded, you just update it here. Prompt you are passing here. So if you change few lines, just put it here. And if you are using different model, you can just do it. And where is it? And here you will see like with each evaluation run, what was the config that you passed. If I take example of this, that this was the prompt. If you make any changes in the prompt, you can see here what was the prompt you ran this evaluation with, what was the model, what was the vector store ID, and then you can see here like what was the overall score here. So any config change you will make, you just do an evaluation run again, and you then compare both the runs. That with the old prompt, the overall score was maybe 0.65, and with the new prompt, the score is 0.7. So there you can compare the different evaluation run, and this is running here. It's not like once you are confident, then only make it changes in the production.
Quick question. So that prompt which you had put, is that the system prompt for your product, or just a specific eval prompt which you are putting in?
No, whatever assistant you have launched, yeah. The prompt we put is the LLM as judge prompt, which is same, yeah.
Over here, is it the same prompt?
No, here you are passing the assistant you have set up.
You know how, even one question, even 3 humans might
No, those things are like anyway taken care of when an answer is generated, because when a question is passed, it can have you can write the same question in different ways. It will just pull the relevant chunks and it will again generate the answer. So different variation of same question you don't need to pass. That is anyway with LLM.
Different variation of the answer for a question. We humans might answer that question in slightly different language, right? So is that variation, should that be captured in the golden data set or no?
No, because anyway, like even if you pass the golden data set or same way, like different variation of answer for the same question, anyway, the next time the answer will be generated, it will be different what LLM will generate. And at the end, we are doing semantic search using cosine similarity, where it is basically measuring the meaning of the answer, not the actual words. So at the end, both will be same. And even in the LLM as judge, we are saying that this is the generated output, this is the ground truth. See if both are similar. We are not saying match word by word, or it's not like string matching.
For the query that you put, I think it's more qualitative, right? So here the evaluation will be more, it will be best if we have objective answers. Like, let's say the thing that we are demoing here is based on a file search. So there is a definite answer. So it cannot be a population of an area is X. It cannot be some other 2X or 3X. So for something like that, eval will make sense. But for art or where it's very broad, humans themselves don't agree on, it's difficult to come up with evals there. So where you're going is the right direction. You don't have the right answer in terms of how we automate that.
One suggestion, are you going to also include performance metrics as part of this evaluation? Because various using different AIs can result in different performance, and it matters for an AI system.
Performance, you mean latency and?
Latency, how quick the responses are.
Yeah, right now we are just measuring the correctness and overall quality, because to measure the latency, we have to actually use the similar setup. Here we are using batch API. So for 150 questions, if you want to measure the latency and all, you have to run that in a similar environment. So running those 150 or 200 questions, with which like each question may take like 5 or 10 seconds to measure. We are just here understanding like here with the same config, the answer meaning is same or not.
But you might not be able to do that.
Yeah, then we may not be able to. And cost will be there also. With batch, it's 50% the cost. Cool. Anything else? Yeah.
First of all, thank you for the plan. Timely as well. In our simple education foundation use case, we love to do this. Some So, connecting back to the non-deterministic approach to software analytics, even for testing point of view, this is different from the traditional software or like testing. So you have person coverage of our code base with automated tests, then I'm pretty sure that I don't need any manual testing. But here, let's say I run this. So this is good. But this doesn't take away the fact that we still have to look at what responses manually, have a human do. Is that in your experience as well? Or how do you see this evolving concept? This kind of methods to test what kind of reliability to get to.
I would say like it's more like an ongoing journey. It's not like once you write all the test case, you have 100% coverage. That is it. Like with time, your AI solution will also evolve, and there are like multiple components. Also, you have to like keep iterating, keep building the golden data set, keep testing it, and like we said in the last, like every week run this evaluation to understand like if it's performing consistently. So it's not like once you reach 100% point, that's it, and you can close on evaluation. You have to keep on iterating. Yeah.
So how accurate these numbers are will depend on that input that you give.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. If the inputs are bad, the results would be the downstream result would be worse. That's totally correct. So how we see it, I think many people must have used some feature flag software. I think if they are developer, you have some A configuration, you have B configuration. You want to see how they are performing across space and time. So that I think stats if somebody has heard about it, that kind of does that for consumer product. So we are kind of envisioning this as that sort of thing where you have conflict management, you have different prompt template, you have guardrails, so you want to see pre-guardrail, post-guardrail, how it performs. And you can see the metrics as well that you explained, whether latency or any bias, the sociocultural factors now. With respect to geography, is it making sense? With respect to languages, Indic, non-Indic, Hindi, English, and so on. So I think we see this as evolving into a mature product that sort of try to do 90% of the things that we require. Might not be the full-fledged, but yeah, definitely we try to incorporate edge taking input from all of you on how to make it better and build it as a full-fledged platform for all things LLM, Ops, or feature things, feature platform.
Anything you want to say? Okay, good. Yeah, that's it.
Can we play around with this?
Yeah. Yeah, like people who are interested in using that, maybe we can connect in a smaller circle and see like how it is working and how you guys can also use it. I think it's free. Good. Okay. Thanks.